Man, so my name is Dustin. I don't think I've met a couple of you guys. I haven't met you. What's her name?
Urian.
Urian? Man, you're too good. Urian, yeah. And hey, Steve. Hey, Steve. Dustin. Good to meet you.
Can somebody take this?
Yeah. And so this is Rough Francis. We're here with Rough Francis.
This is a Mystery School podcast.
Yeah, we're the Mystery School podcast, Noidcast. What we do... What's that? Well, me and him, we just jam. I drum, he plays guitar. We always just sat around and had some crazy conversations, that pre-prep before you jam, talking about jamming. So we wanted to finally archive it, at least just for our family, for us, like the fly on the wall. So we finally did it. In our format, we started with just us, and then we get local bands or friends that we know musically, and they come in and they jam with us. We sit down and we bullshit for like 10 minutes, talk about kind of our background musically, how we approach, and then we go into the jam shed, and it's just all jams. So free-form jams. We record it we record it on the tape. We've done digital tape experiment, and we just like to just throw ourselves out there. Whatever may come, all kinds of different styles.
Yeah, we got a Fostex tape machine too.
Nice.
We got a Fostex 8-track 1/4-inch we use sometimes.
Sweet. We need to get one of those machines.
Yeah, you guys should definitely have
Fostex.
So we're finally doing it. We've met awesome people. And
we also wanted to do it and come out to like people's shows and like we recorded you guys with some mics. Out back and talk to you guys about jamming. You guys obviously do some jamming. You guys definitely
laying it down.
Get into it.
You got to in Vermont. They lose it just real quick.
Man, but playing with family, that's just an amazing thing. I have 3 younger brothers, and it just so happens the synchronicity of this is pretty fucking cool because my dad is going to be our next guest next week on the show. My dad's just a really amazing guitar player. And playing with my little younger brother on the bass and my dad on the guitar, and especially just jamming, it's just like meeting someone you can have a conversation with and just connect with them on just a whole deeper level. And seeing you guys as a family and like close friends, like that was fucking awesome. Can you guys like elaborate on how cool it must feel to be like carrying on?
Yeah. See, I actually, we wanted to be a band when we were all growing up and when we were little kids and stuff. We used to see the Jackson 5 and like we used to watch those movies. Yeah, we idolized that family, and just like me
too.
Like how could you not? Growing up in the 80s and early 90s, Michael Jackson was the king of pop. He still is the king of pop. Rest in peace. But I always wanted to play with these guys, but the thing is, our age groups is so spread out. Bobby's 8 years older than I am. Urian's 5 years younger than I am. So, like, a band with like an 8-year-old, a 16-year-old, and like
a 3-year-old,
like that wouldn't really work. So, like, we had to wait. We had to wait it out until we could all like relate to each other as adults. And it's funny because like I was living in California when I found out about death. Like, our parents never told us about it, so like we never knew. But we were always into like punk and hardcore and just like rock and just we always gravitated towards that style of music anyway. And when I found out about death, I just had a flash in my head. I was like, okay, now is the time to start a band with my brothers. I got to go home. And like all my California friends were like, really, Vermont? Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna start a band in Vermont? Like, that's your plan? I was like,
that's cool. Like,
you're in the Bay Area, like you're in the a cultural hot pot, like, and you're gonna leave this to, but like like these guys, like I've never connected with anyone more on a musical level within them because we just know each other, like we know our influences, we know where we came from, and we can all just express that freely on stage. And with these guys too, with Paul and with Steve, we've all been playing together in bands before that for years when we were all growing up. So it just was natural, for us to come together.
We're all brothers.
And now that we're doing it, it's really the easiest and most effortless band that I think any of us have ever been in.
Yeah, it seems so natural on stage. You guys were awesome.
Oh, thank you.
So how important is the name then?
It's very important because that ties in with the whole family aspect of the band. When I was really young, my Uncle Dave, the guitar player for Death, when he got a little older, he he was like experimenting with different musical projects and different names that he could call himself. And one day he just like came up with Rough Francis, because a bunch of friends of his from Detroit, all of his like drinking buddies and stuff would call him Francis, and they'd call him Ruffy, and it just kind of stuck. And when he said that his name was Rough Francis, when I first heard that blew me away. I thought that was the coolest name ever. So I was like, I made a mental note. I was like, man, I got to remember that, because if I start a band, I want my band to be called Rough Francis. Like, I remember thinking about that and just keeping it in the back of my head. So like when all this stuff came up much later with Death, and me and my brothers wanted to start a band together, that's when the name came back. I was like, you know what we should call our band? We should call it Rough Francis, because it's based around our Uncle Dave and our father and our other Uncle Dennis, and it just kind of brought everything together. And it's pretty much like paying our respects to our Uncle Dave, and just like thanking him for all the things that he's done for the family and for music. And yeah, it's just like really
bringing it around full circle.
Yeah, man, it's just like still a pretty heavy thing for us.
And the family lineage is still carrying on that very just progressive new sound. I mean, it's pushing boundaries of something brand.
Was your Uncle Dave the one into like the hard rock of the family? Did he get everyone into that?
Yeah, he was. I think the first one to. Was he the first one?
Well,
to
you know what? It's actually
get into
funny.
rock? Was
it's
Uncle
funny because
Dennis.
Uncle Dennis was the first one to propose the idea, so that they, because they were playing funk and R&B growing up in Detroit. It was the natural thing to do. So, they were like, my Uncle Dennis. I think he saw Alice Cooper for the first time, like on accident.
Yeah.
He was accompanying my mom he was accompanying our grandmother. Moms. That's why I said,
Moms.
That's what we all called her, adoringly. Moms, rest in peace. She was going to one of the Motown parties, and my Uncle Dennis was coming along, and they had to walk through a Alice Cooper concert to get to the Motown after party or whatever, and my Uncle Dennis just stayed because he was so enthralled with the show. And then he proposed the idea that they start playing rock, and he actually got kicked out of the room, and they were all like, man, like, forget that, like, we're gonna keep playing this funk. And then I think my Uncle Dave saw the Who later on that summer, and then he was like, no, we gotta play this rock.
Oh, that's funny.
And then everybody
The twofer, you just say no.
Yeah, so it was really my Uncle Dave's his final say, was like, because he was the leader of the group, he was the oldest sibling, so he had the executive control.
It's a good time.
Wow. So what's your guys' mission right now? I mean, you guys are touring, you guys are bringing back the family lineage of kick-ass fucking rock music.
We just want to keep going to as many towns and rocking as many new faces and meeting as many cool people as we can.
Right on.
Yeah, we just want to keep playing this music and just bringing it to
keep on rocking
people,
in the free world.
Yeah,
keep on rocking in the free world. Exactly.
It always comes back to Neil Young. Yeah.
Yeah, Neil Young has played a major part in all of this too. So. But yeah, I think one of our biggest missions is to just bring real music to people. It's honest, and we take risks, right? And we're out there and we're just kind of naked on stage. We're there to present ourselves as we are. And I think we're doing okay.
How do you guys write songs? Is it a lot of jamming, or what's that process like?
Usually, one of us will come with an idea, and we'll all just build upon it. And make it all our own. Because regardless of who writes the song, it's still 20% of all of us putting things together and just manifesting what it's like. We all come together in a room and play some tunes, because everybody can always have their own perception of what something's going to be like. If you write it yourself, it's just going to sound like you. But when you bring it to everybody else and they interpret it their own way, it becomes something. It becomes Rough Francis every time.
Yeah. That's the neat part about collaboration.
Yeah.
The band
it's a very collaborative.
Yeah, there's
process.
no my foot over yours. It's like we all have to
hold it down on their own, right? Do your own, have your own voice.
Together, have a good time.
Yeah.
How did you guys find your instrument? Your chosen instrument.
Well, all right. I guess I'll start. But I found my instrument because this Negro over here. I was joking. But yeah,
that's Bobby. He's playing.
Like I grew up
Negro.
like around the time when the Reggae Fest. My father was doing the Reggae Fest when I was like baby and stuff. But I would always be out. I would just be going out to shows without any say. Just coming to just Landsbred shows, and it was my Uncle Dennis, just seeing how fun drums were. It's pretty cool. Bobby was always playing in punk bands around town. Common Ground and Reach, like around 242 and all this.
Yeah.
Skateboarding. Yeah. And I was like, oh man, I want to skate too. I want to play some drums.
You guys.
But then I ended up getting a guitar from my parents, and I was like, fuck man, because I'm left-handed, and Bobby's left-handed too. Like my mom is left-handed. Like, it was a good amount of us are left-handed.
The 10%.
So I got a right-handed guitar, and I was like, fuck, this sucks. Like I was trying to play it upside down, tried restringing it, broke all the strings. It's like, well, looks like play some drums.
Yeah.
So we grew up in a pretty musical house. Like our parents had a studio a DIY studio next to our house. It's pretty funny.
Fostex?
Yeah, you got that Fostex and all that old school.
You guys were
Tascamming?
Tascam,
Fostex, you name it.
You guys probably don't remember the 8-carton days.
Oh man.
No, I know the 8-carton days.
You guys pinning 8 cartons on the wall?
Remember when PV was hot too? Like all those.
You guys got the PV stacks. Yeah.
Hey, you gotta get that discount mess to make some tunes.
Yeah.
We had my pops happen to have all that staple all those staple home recording stuff. Making some wacky.
Duct tape in a dream.
It's some pretty good sounding tracks though. But yeah, I would just jam. I would get up the mic to because I was always kind of scared of my Uncle Dennis. It's older parents are your uncle. You're oh yeah, you're just kind of
I know older people when you're a kid.
Yeah, when you're a kid. But I was finally, I would I knew he would say yes every time, but I was sit at my room for 30 minutes and think about it. All right, cool. I'm gonna get up the mic and go downstairs. I'm doing it, and I'd go downstairs, because our house, our parents lived up top. Our family then is a duplex, so my uncle lived on the bottom with his family too. So go downstairs and knock on the door and be all right.
You're nervous.
Hey, what's up, man? I'm can I play the drums for a little bit? He's yeah, cool. Yeah, anytime, man. So, I'm all good.
Wow.
Play some drums for a little bit, and then, and then that's where the rest is history for the most part. And then, all my friends, it was I'd start to grow up, and all my friends were getting drums and shit and guitars. I'm like, fuck, man, I want some drums. Mom, can I get some drums? And then my birthday comes around, I'm mowing the lawn, trying to save up my dollars. We live across the street with the gas station, so I never saved up no money.
Oh yeah, chiclets.
But I got some practice pads, and then I got for my birthday I got practice pads, and the Minor Threat discography.
Nice.
And that was that's.
Which birthday was that?
That was I think I was 8.
All right.
8 or 9.
You listened to Minor Threat when you were 8?
Yeah, hey, that's because
you weren't even angry yet.
Oh yeah, yeah, man. Actually, Bobby had this power, all these.
8 years old, man. It's great.
All these scary posters on the wall, some power. The Powell Peralta, the bone.
Yeah.
13 at that point.
That was funny.
Yeah, I was listening to Chromax Judge. I was it was hilarious, man. We were I was 8 years old listening to all this wacky hard street hardcore, Madball, Chromax Judge,
They asked us a question 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's what happens when I smoke herbs. How long has this Fostex got?
This thing goes all night.
All right, cool.
This is digital.
You can pretty much just cut that whole segment out.
So
that's great.
Yeah. All right, so I actually got a bass at the same time that he got that Ready guitar, and it was this tiny little, it was a kid's bass, and I beat the hell out of that thing, man. And I just wanted to have a guitar, really. And I remember trying to learn the Jimi Hendrix Star Spangled Banner on that bass with a ton of distortion, because I think I had a PV Raptor for an amp, so it's really just running the bass with a bunch of distortion, trying to play guitar with it, and I was I think I was what was I 9 at that time? Yeah, so I got my first bass when I was 9, and then I didn't really care about it. When it came time to pick an instrument, I was in the band, the school band in middle school, 5th and 6th grade. I played saxophone.
Nice.
Yeah, so saxophone really was like the first instrument that I played and took seriously, semi-seriously, because I just played by ear too. I joined the band halfway through the school year, so I'd skip the part when everyone learned to read music and pick up notes and stuff. So I was just like just looking at everybody else and like playing along. And I think that's where I learned like my ear training skills.
Yeah.
And I still play a saxophone to this day, and I love that instrument. It's just like, what's going on?
It's a cockroach, man.
Yeah, look at that.
It's a cockroach.
We got a big iridescent.
Welcome to Sacramento.
Yeah, man. Roach is cute.
Well, anyway, yeah, I played the sax for a while, and then I think 8th grade rolled around, and I wanted to play bass again. And
So you're like Jocko. You just come in on stage. You couldn't even read the chart. You'd be like, hey, I can play this better than you.
Yeah. And, I joined. Well, I don't know about that because I really quit the band because it got to a point when I couldn't fake it anymore.
Yeah.
Like I was like trying to like just pick out the notes and I just the music didn't mean anything to me. Like it's just like I was uninspired. And actually. The band teacher cried when I quit, and I'll never forget it because I felt so bad. Because really he was right. I should have pushed myself more, and I could have like really caught up. And like he was, whatever. But anyway, I did what I did, and I decided to play the bass, and I think the pinnacle of my middle school bass career was when I played Fire by Jimi Hendrix for my gym class because we had to do this gym class. This presentation where it was a dance project, and we chose to do like a rock thing, So I was playing Jimmy tune on the bass, while the rest of my friends in the group were doing this dance, or kind of like doing like a circle pit around me. So we failed. I failed that gym class, and I had to retake it senior year with all the freshmen, and. But then by that point, I was, still playing bass and everything, and starting to play in bands, and I played bass for probably like 10 years. But then I started playing guitar a little bit, just playing like some, I don't know, just messing around, and I didn't really take it seriously until really I found out about death. And like, honestly, when I found out about death, the drive in me ignited, and I picked up the guitar, and it seemed like my instrument, and it didn't seem, it's not too far removed from the bass, so like I approach it like a bass player in some respect, I guess, like rhythmically.
Yeah.
So it's helped me to keep time, and I feel like I still don't feel like the guitar is really my thing, but I'm doing the best I can.
Is it not as natural then as the bass?
It's crazy. I remember when Jules would come over after maneuvers practice. Urian and I were in a band, and he'd play this little amp I had in the basement. He fell in love with this amp. And I remember Jules only knew a few chords on guitar. He was not nearly as good at guitar as he was at bass. And then the next time I saw Jules play was when Rough Francis had already formed, and he had to learn the entire Death album. And I was like, damn, Jules got good really quick.
A man on a mission.
Yeah, how long from playing bass really to learning the whole Death record? How long did that take?
I mean,
it took him less than a year.
Yeah, really, I don't know, 3 months probably.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I had to, we had this thing happening.
Yeah, you had this commitment that was forcing you to do it.
But it wasn't, I don't know, it's not that it's I find it difficult, it's just that it's not my true voice, but it's cool because I have to find my own voice through it, and I'm really getting acquainted with it now, so I don't know, I feel like it on the guitar, I was always meant to do it, so here I am.
Well, at the very least, the more instruments you can at least tinker on, you can learn the vocabulary of that instrument, and then when you find your true voice, you can communicate with everyone that much better.
It's true, and then it doesn't matter what instrument you play really, because it's all just you coming through,
So, totally.
We figured out that if there was an emergency situation, we're only any three of us could play a show. But
You guys could do any three of you could do a set.
Play a Rough Francis set.
So what if the drummer doesn't make it? Who plays?
Bobby can play
Bobby
drums.
plays drums.
Jules can play
Bobby's
drums.
really the original drummer.
So you sing?
So you guys got
sing
funny
great
because
I was
gospel
originally a
drummers.
bassist. Bobby's originally
That's
a
cool.
drummer. Steve was originally a guitar player.
Actually, this is
So
actually happened.
we're all kind of like
Whenever Urian can't make it to practice or whenever he's late, I get behind the drums and I sing and play.
Yeah,
And,
do you get excited when that happens sometimes?
yeah, because that's the only other thing I know how to do.
Drums are
is
fun,
play
but-
drums.
Kieran filled in on drums last week.
Yeah, my
Sound
son
check.
filled in on drums for
9.
Jules and Urian. Were
Is he the
not,
one you wanted
they were
to make
still
a
at
roadie?
work.
Yeah.
Yeah, Julian and Urian were still at work.
drum on
and,
it.
He loves it too.
we had the sound check, and it was me, Steve, and Paul, and my
Wow.
kids. So my kids filled in for their uncles.
So
That's
9
cool.
seems to be about that pivotal age musically.
Yeah, Joe too. She's 2.
Yeah. So actually,
Wow.
she's 3 now. So yeah. But yeah, they filled in, so they're next on board. They're next on board.
That's great. Keep the legacy going.
Yeah.
Grandson's with dinner.
Well, cool. So what's next for you guys? You guys are going to Southern California?
Yeah, we're gonna be in San Diego tomorrow.
Cool. And then
Yeah.
where are you going from there?
Then we're just gonna spend the night and play an in-store the next day on Monday, and then we're back home.
Back home?
Yeah, then we're back home in Burlington, Vermont.
Cool.
And then we'll be doing some East Coast stuff.
Yeah,
in
how
the
long you
fall.
guys been out on this tour?
For about a week.
Oh, a week?
Yeah.
Cool. You guys just been driving it the whole time?
Yeah, we've been driving it. We flew out, and we flew into LA.
Uh-huh.
Rented a van, borrowed some gear from a few friends, and just drove on up the coast.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome. Been a great ride.
it's been a really great ride. Yeah.
Everybody been kind.
Everybody's been kind.
Good reception.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah, very, very nice.
Good.
Yeah.
Spreading the word. Any new albums in the forefront? You guys writing anything on the road? I know creativity is always brewing.
Yeah, we got some stuff under our sleeves.
constantly.
Yeah, we're always writing, and we have we recorded a couple songs that are going to be out in a 7-inch in the next couple months, hopefully. So keep your eyes peeled for that.
All
All right, yeah.
Nice. So, I mean, playing for, rock royalty or punk royalty, more like with the Ramones. I mean, playing. How was that? What was that about? How was that?
Oh, are you talking about that gig that we did?
Yeah.
The first gig that we
was
did
that
with
just
Death?
like
That was actually
weird?
the first show we ever played out of state. That was like our 4th show ever as a
Wow.
band.
Wow.
I think.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like we played this initial, the shows where we played the album, and then
Yeah.
that was the first show I think we played original material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
testing around there.
Yeah, it was great. People were like, we actually hung out with Tommy Ramone. And he said that he liked our songs a lot, so that was really cool.
It give you that boost of validation.
Yeah, that was
like,
really
hey,
that
we're
was
on
one
the
of the
right
coolest
track here.
moments. I thought I would never sit next to an original Ramone, and that original Ramone would say, "Hey, I like your band." That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Hanging out with Fishbone too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fishbone dude, yo, what's up?
Yeah, those guys are awesome.
California represent. Yup. Yeah. Yo, the Fishbone dudes
Fishbone.
are great.
yeah, they are.
Great dudes, wild dudes. They're like old.
And we've run into them
Silly.
a few times over the years.
Yeah.
And they're always there to give us support and advice. So they're another mentor of ours, Fishbone.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
dudes, like, the music does not age. That shit just gets tighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw them play a couple years ago. It was so good.
Yeah.
They're great.
Yeah, but that's what's cool about this whole thing. It's like a lot of we've gotten to become friends with a lot of people that we've been influenced by through the Death story, through the discovery and everything. And it's just really cool. Like, I think people that I never would have thought I would be friends with, we're friends with now.
Yeah,
It's just
tomorrow
pretty crazy.
you guys are playing with my favorite, Spencer Moody from
Oh, yeah.
Motor City Devils.
Yeah.
Big fan of them.
Yeah, we haven't met him yet in person, but I'm sure he's going to be awesome. Can't wait to meet him.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah, because
Creative guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, man, you guys are awesome. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're great. Yeah, thanks a lot for doing this.
Thanks for having us.
Cool. All right. Thanks, guys.
Rough Francis, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, man. I creation the rough princess in California. You bet be knowing, growing, and showing.